If you listen regularly to this channel, you probably know that I encourage people to really get to know their caring values and to act on them. And one question that I sometimes get from people who are concerned about their own well-being is, well, what about self-care? If I spend a lot of time and energy caring for others, won't I wear myself out? I take this question seriously. Is caring for others something that will weaken us or ultimately strengthen us? Researchers have studied this question in different ways, and generally the findings suggest that the impact of helping and caring for others is positive. A substantial research program has traced the effect of spending money on others versus spending on ourselves, and finds that we're often happier when we give to others. And this is not an effect just observed in North America, it's an effect observed around the world. And the warmth and glow that we get from caring extends even to toddlers. So it's across age groups and across cultures. A number of research groups have also found that caring actions boost well-being more than self-serving actions. And when different streams of research or different researchers come up with the same finding, it makes the finding more robust. So any single researcher or research group will tend to have biases, and those biases will maybe show up in ways that are subtle or difficult to detect. So a finding that occurs across groups is stronger than a finding that's only in one research group. And that's what we find here. Different researchers coming to the same conclusion that caring for others tends to be good for us. But, and there's always a but, isn't there? Of course, no single strategy is good for all the people all the time. The question I often get is about exhaustion, and it's an important one. So first and foremost, one caveat. Anything you're doing to the point of exhaustion is going to be bad for you. So think of an adult child or partner of a sick person who is caring for their relative 24/7. They get exhausted and they need a break. And the benefits of respite care for these people are well documented. So let's see if we can compare actions to care for others versus actions to care for ourselves, and to see when one is more called for than the other, or more beneficial than the other. When researchers have done this and compared outcomes of people who were reminded to engage in either one daily act of self-care or one daily act of wishing or thinking good wishes toward others, or one daily action to the benefit of someone else or some other group, all of these strategies were useful in improving well-being. So they're all good. But there was some differences. So the actions that were about wishing another well or doing something for another person tended to have an impact on people's, they called it moral self-concept. So this idea of thinking well of myself, thinking that I'm a good person, that my life is worthwhile. And of course, when I feel that way, I feel better about my life. It feels more meaningful. However, in the same study, they found something else. They found that the treating yourself strategies were better when people were exhausted. So what's the bottom line here? Treats or treating yourself well, self-care is good sometimes, especially when we're exhausted. We do know, however, that the impact of treats tends to wear out over time. So if I'm tired and I say, I just want to go to a movie and relax, and I go, it can be really good for me. But if I go to a movie every day, the impact of that starts to wear thin. So self-care strategies have limits. We also know that caring for others can be exhausting. Our example before of caring for a loved one who's sick. But we can probably improve our well-being and sense of ourselves as good people by caring for others. And we should treat ourselves and take care of ourselves when we're exhausted. So we care for others, but in the context of caring for ourselves too.